Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, true spirituality is not to renounce life, but to make life perfect with the divine perfection. This is what India must show to the world now. With my love and blessing, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother, taken from the collective works of our Divine Mother, question and answers, year 1930-31, topic, the ordinary life and the true soul, page 123. Our Divine Mother says the ordinary life is a round of various desires and greeds. As long as one is preoccupied with them, there can be no lasting progress. A way out of the round must be discovered. Take as an instance that commonest preoccupation of ordinary life, the constant thinking of people of what they will eat and when they will eat and whether they are eating enough. To conquer the greed for food, an equanimity in the being must be developed such that you're perfectly indifferent towards food. If food is given to you, you eat it. If not, it doesn't worry you in the least. Above all, you do not keep thinking about food. And the thinking must not be negative either. To be absorbed in devising methods and means of abstinence, as the sannyasis do, is to be almost as preoccupied with food as to be absorbed in dreaming of it greedily. Have an attitude of indifference towards it. That is the main thing. Get the idea of food out of your consciousness. Do not attach the slightest importance to it.
Of ordered sort came first. A small beginning of immense ascent. The mighty wardens of the ascending stair, who intercede with the all-creating world, there waited for the pilgrim heaven-bound soul. Holding the thousand keys of the beyond, they proffered their knowledge to the climbing mind and filled the life with thought's immensity.
Our Divine Mother says this will be very easy to do once you get into contact with your psychic being, the true soul deep within you. Then you will feel immediately how very unimportant these things are and that the sole thing that matters is the divine. To dwell in the psychic is to be lifted above all greed. All you have to no hankering, no worry, no feverish desire. And you will feel also that whatever happens, happens for the best. Do not misunderstand me to imply that you must always think that everything is for the best. Everything is not for the best so long as you are in the ordinary consciousness. Our Divine Mother says you may be misled into utterly wrong channels when you are not in the right state of consciousness. But once you are poised in the psychic and have made your self offering to the divine, all that happens will happen for the best, for everything, however disguised, will be a definitive divine response to you. Our Divine Mother says, indeed, the very act of genuine self giving is in its own immediate reward. It brings with it such happiness, such confidence, and such security as nothing else can give. But till the self giving is firmly psychic, there will be disturbances, the interval of dark moments between the bright ones. It is only the psychic that keeps on progressing in an unbroken line, its moment a continuous ascension. All other moments are broken and discontinuous, and it is not till the psychic is as felt as yourself that you can be an individual even. For it is the true self in you, but the true self is known. You are a public place, not a being. Our Divine Mother says there are so many clashing forces working in you. Hence, if you wish to make real progress, know your own being, which is in constant union with the Divine. Know your own being, which is in constant union with the Divine. Then alone will the transformation be possible. All the other parts of your nature are ignorant. The mind, for instance, often commits the mistake of thinking that every brilliant idea is also a luminous idea. It can be with equal vigor triumph of arguments for and against God. It has no infallible sense of the truth. The vital is generally impressed by any show of power and is willing to see in it the godlike. It is only the psychic which has just a discrimination. It is only the psychic which has a just discrimination. It is directly aware of the Supreme Presence. It infallibly distinguishes between the divine and the undivine. If you have even for a moment contacted it, you will carry with you a conviction about the divine which nothing can shake. A Divine Mother says, how? You ask me, are we to know our true being? Ask for it, aspire after it, want it as you want nothing else. Most of you here are influenced by it, but it should be more than an influence. You should be able to feel identified with it. All urge for perfection comes from it, but you are unaware of the source. You are not collaborating with it knowingly. You are not in identification with its light. Do not think I refer to the emotional part of you. When I speak of the psychic, emotion belongs to the higher vital, not to the pure psychic. The psychic is a steady flame that burns in you, soaring towards the divine and carrying with it a sense of strength which breaks down all oppositions. When you are identified with it, you have the feeling of the divine truth, then you cannot help feeling also that the whole world is ignorantly walking on its head with its feet in the air. Our Divine Mother says, you must learn to unite what you call your individual self with your true psychic individuality. Let me repeat, you must learn to unite with what you call your individual self with your true psychic individuality. Your present individuality is a very mixed thing, a series of changes which yet preserves a certain continuity, a certain sameness or identity of vibration in the midst of all flux. It is almost like a river which is never the same and yet has a certain definitiveness and persistence of its own. Your normal self is merely a shadow of your true individuality, which you will realize only when this normal individual, which is differently poised at different times, now in the mental, then in the vital, at other times in the physical, gets into contact with the psychic and feels it as its real being. Then you will be one. Nothing will shake or disturb you. You will make steady and lasting progress and be above such petty things as greed, as food.
In a sublimer and more daring soar to the wide summit of the triple stairs, where steps climbed up like glowing rocks of gold, burning their way to pure absolute sky.
Next, from a question from page 31 from the same series. Question, sweet mother, has creation a definite aim? Is there something like a final end to which it is moving? For this, our Divine Mother says, no. The universe is a moment that is eternally unrolling itself. There is nothing which you can fix upon as the end and one aim. But for the sake of action, we have to section the moment, which is itself unending, and to say that this or that is the goal. For inaction, we need something upon which we can fix our aim. In a picture, you need a definitive scheme of composition and color. You will have to set a limit to put the whole thing within a fixed framework. But the limit is illusory, the frame is a mere convention. There is a constant continuation of the picture that stretches beyond any particular frame, and each continuation can be drawn in the same conditions in the unending series of frames. Our Divine Mother says, our aim is this or that. We say, but we know that it is only the beginning of another aim beyond it, and that in it turns and leads yet to another. The series develops always and never stops. Question from page 28 in the same series. Question, sweet mother, is the time also of an occurrence arranged in the divine plan of things? For this, our Divine Mother says, all depends upon the plane from which one sees and speaks. There is a plane of divine consciousness in which all is known absolutely and the whole plan of things foreseen and predetermined. That way of seeing lives in the highest reaches of the supramental is the Supreme's own vision. But we do not possess that consciousness. It is useless to speak in terms that hold good only in that region and are not our present effective way of seeing things. For at a lower level of consciousness, nothing is realized or fixed beforehand. All is in the process of making. Here there are no settled facts. There is only the play of possibilities. Out of the clash of the possibilities is realized the thing that has to happen. On this plane, we can choose and select. We can refuse one possibility and accept another. We can follow one path, turn away from another. And that we can do even though what is actually happening may have been foreseen and predetermined in a higher plane. Our Divine Mother says the Supreme Consciousness knows everything beforehand because everything is realized there in her eternity. But for the sake of her play and in order to carry out actually on the physical plane what is foreordained in her own Supreme Self, she moves here upon earth as if she did not know the whole story. She works as if it was a new and untried thread that she was weaving. It is this apparent forgetfulness of our own foreknowledge in the higher consciousness that gives to the individual in the active life of the world his sense of freedom and independence and initiative. These things in him are her pragmatic tools. These things in him are her pragmatic tools or devices. It is through this machinery that the moments and issues planned and foreseen elsewhere are realized here. Our Divine Mother says it may help you to understand if you take the example of an actor. An actor knows the whole part he has to play. He has in mind the exact sequence of what is to happen on the stage. But when he is on the stage, he has to appear as if he did not know anything. He has to feel and act as if he were experiencing all these things for the first time, as if it was an entirely new world with all its charms, events, and surprises that was unrolling before his eyes, says our Divine Mother.
At each phase of the journey marvelous, a new degree of wonder and of bliss, a new hum formed in being's mighty stair, a great wide step, trembling with the jeweled heart, as if a burning spirit quivered there, upholding with his flame the immortal